and Iran $100 million. This is the official figures we have, and there are other donations from different member countries which made bilaterally, and I don't have their count, the full list now. But let me say that OIC, apart from member countries' contributions, are working on two levels.
Sorry to cut you. This money was given to the government of Pakistan.
Yes.
$680 million.
Yes, this is pledges and donations through official channels. I can't really tell you country, government A did it this way, country B did it that way. We are, apart from the bilateral relations between member countries and the government of Pakistan, we are working on two levels. We have IDB, Islamic Development Bank, which is a specialized organ of OIC, and it has pledged $500 million for the infrastructure and for other projects related to the flood. And now I think they are considering raising it from 500 to 700. And this it will be going in its own track. Next to this, where we had we have a network of NGOs which working with us, and they are working in the field. And we have created a coordinating office here, which work with this and liaise with the disaster administration of Pakistan. And we hope that these societies to be more engaged with their counterparts in Pakistan, because I think the dealing with the effects of the flood needs a long it's a long process. It has to be all through this winter, next spring and summer, until houses and shelters are built and families are rehabilitated.
Brigadier Sajid Saab, will you please tell us that what do you expect from the international community? What do you expect from OIC?
Right. As for the OIC is concerned, I think this is not the first time that the OIC is intervening in Pakistan with relation to the disaster. In the earthquake, I think the OIC initially donated $73 million for the housing project, and subsequently, which was enhanced, another $137 million was given to Pakistan for the housing sector. Now, as the Excellency said, he was here in August, and I think the OIC played a major role in mobilizing most of the NGOs. And today, the Islamic Relief of UK, Islamic Relief of USA, Qatar, Kuwait Charity, Iran, Turkey, both the Red Crescent of Iran and Turkey, they are actively participating in it. The Islamic Development Bank has also applied 10 million for, as far the relief is concerned, and now probably is announced for the reconstruction also. But as far as where we stand today is, when we talk of four important things which are needed by the affected people, say for example shelter. Shelter, today we stand at about 47%. Out of 1.6 million households, we have been able to provide only 1.1 million tents. Whereas when we relate this to the earthquake, where the total affected population was about 3.2 million, and we were able to give them over 1 million tents. So the shelter is, the top priority as far as the federal government is concerned. Followed by food. Food as per the UN system, where the most of the donors are donating money, both in kind and cash, we are covering approximately 6 million per month out of 20 million. And the remaining is being looked after by the philanthropist, the Youth Parliament, one of the organizations which is also working for that, and the civil society of Pakistan. As far as WASH, which is water and sanitation, is concerned, we stand somewhere at 50%. And likewise health, we stand somewhere at about 57-58%. The total appeal which has been launched by the UN in case, I would request His Excellency, in case he can mobilize the donors so that they can give it to the UN, if not the government of Pakistan, and the total amount which is needed through that appeal, 1.9 billion, in case that is met, I think we'll be able to meet the 100% requirement of the people.
Excellency, don't you think that there is a need to set up a permanent body for helping the Muslim countries during the natural disasters, and that permanent body should be set up by the OIC and it should run by the OIC?
Well, thank you very much for the question, and your point is exactly what we've been working on now. We have felt this need in the last 5 years or 6 years. Actually, I started my duties as Secretary on the 1st of January 2005. The first issue, the first file, the first problem I felt myself obliged to deal with morally was the tsunami disaster in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Aceh. And at that day, OIC had no capacity, had no experience, had no department, had no officers, have no knowledge to deal with anything like this. We had no humanitarian department, we had no relief activities, we had nothing. So we had to improvise everything. And I have to say that that experience was very valuable. We learned a lot. It was a kind of education for me and my colleagues. Then we have established a Department of Humanitarian Affairs, and it's becoming very active. It has been engaged in, at the early stages in tsunami in Aceh. It has been engaged in the earthquake here, and with the famine in Niger, with many other, with the war, the aftermath of the war in Lebanon, South Lebanon, in Gaza, and we are still working in Gaza. But when this flood came, we found that we cannot deal with this big magnitude with our department. Then the need arose for establishing emergency disaster fund. And now we are hopeful that next summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, which will take place mid-March, next mid-March, just after 2 months in Egypt, that it approves, we are going to submit to the summit a proposal to the establishment of emergency disaster fund.
Emergency disaster fund.
Fund.
Emergency disaster fund.
Yes, to deal with this, because we cannot deal with the scope, such a big scope of disaster with the capacities we have. Let me come back to the main point. Do we do our best? I can tell you that we can do better. And I can tell you we can do better because we have more facilities, we have more potential. And I would really like to put on record that take the case of tsunami, for instance, or earthquake here in Pakistan. When you make a net result of the contributions of all the donors in the world, you will find that donations by the Muslim world is bigger than the rest. But when you look to the publicity,
marketing,
you will find a difference. I will not speak about Pakistan. I will speak about tsunami. The Muslim world gave around $1.5 billion to Indonesia in different capacities. But the public opinion in Indonesia and the world knows about a pop singer who goes there, and with all Western media behind him, and he makes performance, he collects money. It's a good thing. I'm not saying it's bad, but it gets big publicity. A famous personality from certain country.
So what is the reason why OIC
Well, let me finish and let me then ask you what is the reason. You don't ask me, I ask you what is the reason.
Okay.
And then you get the whole publicity. And then the Muslim world is doing a real support, real donations, on official level, on social level, NGOs, etc., and nobody gets this publicity. Now I ask you why.
Yes, and I will divert this question to Mr. Abrar Ulhaq, that why the international media and especially the media...
No, I'm not saying international media. I don't blame international media.
Okay.
If I blame, I would blame our own media, because international media, this is their own people.
Yes. Why the media in the Muslim countries underestimated the role of OIC, and they overestimated and over-projected the role of a pop singer? And you are also a pop singer.
I think, first of all, I think we should take pride that Muslims and all the Muslim countries have supported in any disaster more than anybody else. I think it's something to be really proud of, and we all are. And now, if it comes to what kind of a publicity they have been getting is another question. And if there was less publicity, we should think about it. And I think myself coming on board should help a little bit, because we will then devise a suitable strategy as far as the marketing thing is concerned. Because what Excellency has just pointed out is not something small. I think providing support to someone is one big thing, but then encouraging more and more people through marketing, through media, through maybe a singer or maybe some other celebrity goes and it's brings in the limelight the message of OIC, and the kind of work that it has already done would multiply the effect, and a lot of other people will get out and support more.
And do you think that the establishment of the Emergency Disaster Fund will boost the image of OIC? Because, sorry to say, there is a general impression, especially in Pakistan, that OIC is a very weak organization.
Yes, and I think after his visit, the visit of Excellency, this image will go off, and people would know. To be very honest, when the Honorable Brigadier Sahab just mentioned that $73 million they have supported in earthquake, and I just looked at the Excellency and he said, yes, we did. I mean, I didn't even know that. Now our nation, the entire nation knows about it. So we'll have more confidence in the future, and inshallah we'll project this.
It was not only 37 million initially, and subsequently it was 137 million more other than 30. But I think projection is needed, that's the bottom line. And projection is not for an organization only.
And we should also project those countries who have not fulfilled their promises with Pakistan. Because the promises were made in the name of the flood victims. We will take a break here and we will meet after the break. Welcome back in Capital Talk. Excellency, would you like to say anything especially to the people of Pakistan? Because most of the people in Pakistan, they think that OIC is a very weak organization. Would you like to clarify?
Well, I would like to say that maybe at certain point OIC was weak. But for the last 5-6 years, OIC now has been going through very dynamic process of transformation. There has been a paradigm shift now. OIC is second biggest international organization. We are now vocal on the issues of the Muslim world. We are influential. We became an international player. We are defending Muslim issues all over the world. Our presence is felt everywhere, in Afghanistan, in Somalia, in Gaza, in Palestine, in Philippine Muslims, for Thailand Muslims.
And people of Pakistan would like to listen something about your role for the Kashmiris.
For Kashmir, of course, OIC is the only international organization who is supporting fully the rights of the Kashmiri people for self-determination. And we are on record the only organization which receives the two representatives of the Kashmiri people in our summits, in our ministerial meetings, even under the roof of the United Nations. We are the only organization which receives these people. So our record for all the issues of the Muslim world, we became the defender of the Muslim world. Look to our role on Islamophobia and defamation of religion, resolutions of the United Nations. I think OIC now has been through a big transformation, take this humanitarian aspect that was not existing.
Why don't
so
you-
when people say, well,